Well. We have an Anthony Kim update. This is awesome. We've been waiting for. Well, I think we've been waiting for this. I watched the whole thing. So David Feherty interview. They showed an interview he did with Anthony Kim. He went to his home in Oklahoma City. They went to the Oklahoma golf course that he plays at, practices at. They really kind of, the whole thing to me, it was great. By the way, if you haven't listened to it, Live Golf Plus website is where you can find it. It's about 20 minutes long. David Feherty gets with. It's kind of like the old Feherty shows from Golf Channel. It's similar to that, but in this particular one, we learned a lot of things. I think for me, it seemed more like they're giving the audience what we want. Like, we want to hear the Anthony Kim story. Unfortunately, we didn't really hear the Anthony Kim story. We just kind of got glimpses into it. And they said, basically, there's a documentary coming out about his story. So with that coming, there's not a whole lot they're going to say, because hopefully it's all going to be in the documentary. So we really don't get any real answers to what's going on. We get kind of glimpses and hints, per se, as to what really happened. Like, we all want to know, like, dude, let's be honest, what happened to your nose? Like, what happened? I think we can all kind of guess, but we want to hear it from Anthony Kim himself. So Feherty didn't ask that question. And that's like the one that's right there, just staring at us. It was like, dude, what happened? Now, Anthony said he had an addictive personality. He did a lot of bad things. He got in a lot of, he was around a lot of bad people. People took advantage of him. 98% of those people are not in his life any longer. That's great. What I got out of it is, well, one, they're doing the documentary. And from what I've heard, the same people that did Full Swing, the Netflix show, and they were doing his documentary. I had heard that they were doing a documentary on his life, and then he backed out. That's kind of the last update I got from my sources. But now, based on this one, it looks like if he was out, then he's back in, or he may never have been out to begin with. Who knows? He also talked about that, Anthony, that he's really only been playing golf, like, seriously, for a few months. So he's doing pretty amazingly, given the fact that he's only really gotten back into it recently, and that he's started cleaning up his life personally about a year and a half ago, and his daughter's about 2. So shortly after she was born, he really started kind of taking ownership of his life and getting kind of cleaned up, getting help, is what he said. So that's good. This seemed like hey, let's get the people something to kind of, stop all the, hey, we want to hear his story. We're going to hear his story. It just seems like it's going to come out later in the documentary. And I'm hoping that in that documentary, we get to hear specific stuff. Like, hey, here's what I was using. Here is what I was addicted to. Here are all the things that, not that we deserve it or we are owed anything, because I don't think we are. It could be just personal. He could just say, look, it's in the past. I'm moving forward. None of your business. He could say that, and I'd be totally fine with that. But it is, one, I think it's inspiring. I believe he can inspire a lot of people. And just hearing him talk with David Feherty it's an inspirational piece, this 20 minutes, because you hear Anthony talking, and there's moments where you could feel the pain or the tears, the emotion within. You could feel there's instances when he's talking about that, and talking about his daughter, talking about things he's done in the past, times when he was a lot younger, in his 20s, on the tour. There's some stuff in him that is just screaming to get out. And why do I want to hear it? One, for me, man, stories like that are things I think we all live for. The greatest movies that we've ever seen were about stories of people overcoming amazing obstacles, whether they're tragedies that you create in your own life or tragedies that happen to people and they have to overcome these great odds to achieve something. So that is why I would personally want to hear a story, because it's just something like, man, like, especially a guy, for me and a lot of us, who really looked at him as like one of these hot up and coming golfers that was just super exciting to watch and super fun. And then all of a sudden, poof, gone. What happened? 12 years go by and you're like, oh, you're back. It's the Cinderella Man story. You know, it's these people that go through tough times that so many people can relate to on many different levels. Whether were an addict at one point and overcome, or you're struggling with addiction, or you have some mental health issues that you are struggling to overcome, or just financial tragedies happen in your life, job situations, marriage stuff, whatever it is in people's lives that just bring them down. That's what stories like this, that's why they're so important. That's why they help so many people, because you're like, okay, if he can help like one person who's down and out just not to give up during those dark hours, those dark years, those dark times, whatever might be happening, stories like his, like, you know, what do you go through? What kind of thoughts go through someone's head when there's no hope? So like there's, you name it. You know, we've all know people. We've gone through stuff. Things happen where you're just like, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And people just, there's a lot of people, unfortunately, take a path that is, you can never return from, whatever that might be, right? And lives are cut short many times because people can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's why one of the personal reasons I want to hear a story is because I want to see and hear and just get inspiration, because you just never know when you're going to go through times that are challenging. And so that story of his, and I'm rooting for him from this point forward, that there's not another tragedy lurking around the corner, but that he is and has the help and support. But it seems like we are at the on the bright side of the hill, where it's like, okay, is it going to be easy? No, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. You're going to have to work harder than you've ever had to work before to achieve less than you've ever achieved before. That's kind of really what happens, but you never know what could be done. Feherty asked him, and Anthony Kim alluded to the fact that he has bigger goals than what we know, and he's keeping that kind of personal. It seems like, kind of reading between the lines, that he wants to play in major championships. Specifically, I would imagine he would, like, who wouldn't want to play in the Masters? With what he's achieved there, with the records he set there, most birdies in a round, 11 birdies, what he's achieved there, I could see and hope and pray and everything that would be cool to see him back there one day. Obviously, it's not going to be next week. It's not going to be this year, but next year, the year, depending on what happens in his career moving forward, I could see a potential return. That would be amazing. Like, for him to even, I can't even think about it, Anthony Kim slipping on a green jacket. He'd have to, I mean, that would be really the end of the story, I guess, right? That would be the ultimate movie in the world of golf. But strange things have happened before in this life, and many other lives that have lived this and walked this earth. So you never know, but it would be really cool to see him strut around Augusta National again one day, and even the other major championships. You never know what the USGA might do, or he might qualify. Remember, he could still go and play in qualifying events for the Open Championship and the US Open. So that could very well happen. For now, this piece from David Feherty on Live Golf Plus app I get nothing for this. I'm not sponsored by Live. There's nothing. It's just I'm a fan of golf, and this is a huge story in the world of golf. So I'm all over it, and I'm hopping a flight. This interview, that was released today has inspired me. I'm hopping on a flight to Miami. I will be down there at the Live event, and I'm going to do what I can do to get a question, say hi, do whatever I can with the Anthony Kim. So if there's something you want me to ask him, comment below. I'll do my best. No guarantees, no promises. I don't know. All I know is I booked a flight. I said, okay, I'm in. You convinced me. Let's get down there. Let's get on the course and try to figure things out. Until then, and I'll report back what we get. I'm going to video and film as much as I can for the day, 2 days I'll be down there, and that will be coming very soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.